I want to make this video, but first off, I wanted to say that I actually wrote about this in some of my personal writings. But the Euphrates River is drying up. It's been drying up in 2009, and if you type in on Google, as of this year, yeah, this year or last year, I forgot. Even though I looked this up yesterday, the Euphrates River is drying up, and if you know where that leads to, Tel Megiddo in Israel, then you exactly know what I'm talking about. And it's actually been drying up since 2009, but it's officially drying up as of this year. So we are very close. But this is a remake of a video I did a couple days ago. I didn't like how it sounded. Anything I leave out, I'm gonna mention in another video. So I just want to come on here and talk about this. And last week, Saturday on Sabbath, I spent time with God. Normally, I work on the weekends on Saturdays due to my schedule and stuff. But my second job hasn't called me back yet. Still searching for a new one. But I spent like 2 hours alone just praying. Everybody worships God different. I normally just sit in silence and pray and reflect on God. I am a charismatic person, but I'm not the type of person to be jumping, screaming, and doing all that other stuff. I do everything in silence. And so, just to sum it up, and this is actually something I prayed about years ago. I wanted like a dream or something about actually what I'm about to tell you. And when I was praying, Jesus personally visited me, and I saw him carrying the cross, and I saw him getting crucified, and it kept going back and forth, and I had a vision, and on top of that, I heard his voice, and man, this is crazy, and because I actually just saw Jesus today, but that's a different story, and I saw him getting crucified the way he got crucified in the movies, but I saw it in real time. And the only thing, he was in a lot of pain, and he told me the only words he said was "thank you." And so yeah, scared for a minute. Hold on, but yeah, just had to go and check the mail. So that, and then the next day, I ended up having a vision while I was asleep, and I saw Jesus, and there's a picture of a girl, how she painted Jesus, and he had a beard and everything. If you know what that image looks like, you know what it looks like. I'm not going to sit here and explain it, whatever the case is. And I saw him, it was like, I saw him at the top, and then I saw Moses and Elijah, and I saw King David. But the difference is that Jesus looked like that girl's painting, and then the other three people, they had white hair. In which case, if anybody could tell me what white hair means, I'd love to know about that, because that's the second time that's actually happened. I've had this. So yeah, I had to have seen King David, because literally after I woke up, the name King David popped up in my mind, because I was trying to figure out who the third person was. Well, fourth person. You know, there are four people. But so that, and I just want to sit here and emphasize on the fact of, because I had to mention this and put this in the video somewhere, what Jesus meant when he said that the days will be shortened, and if that he doesn't put an ending to shorten those days, everybody will die. I'm paraphrasing that, obviously, but that's actually from the Bible. And the point is that I talked about in my video how Obama will transform into he'll change. He'll no longer be Obama. I had a video on that, of which after I listened to Daughter of Yahweh and Shauna from Change is Coming, when she put out a shift change video like months ago, and I had a vision of which, not a vision, but a dream in which I was in two fields, and there were two different Jesus is what? But anyway, there was actual Jesus, and then there was another Jesus that literally was mean spirited, was mean mugging me, and wanted to put people in concentration camps. And I keep getting that same vision of that version of Jesus, and that's what Obama's going to look like. I gotta do another video on that. I don't want to sit here and do comparisons and all this other stuff, but he's literally going to change as a person because I mentioned in one of my videos I was actually supposed to put up, but decided not to. It was the fact that God took me to another dimension. I was trying to figure this out because it bugged me so much. But God took me to another dimension. It was a dream dimension, whatever the case was. But I was there, and basically, to sum this up, this world looks like a wasteland, not a Mad Max wasteland where the earth is like dry and there's satin land and all this other stuff. But literally, there's nothing but sand. So picture like how you see in movies how people are in the desert with their arms over their face with nothing but sand. And there's nothing but sand. No signs of life at all whatsoever. The Antichrist completely wins. And the only thing that's there is nothing but demons roaming the earth. And when I had that dream, basically it was this giant fish that was seemed supernatural, but there's this giant fish that looks similar to the fish from Finding Nemo that has like a little glow over its head. That's at the very, and that's actually from someone who studies the ocean. That's real low at the bottom of the ocean, and so there's a fish like that, but without the antenna over its head, and it was alive, circling the desert, and then there was the Antichrist, and all life on that planet was destroyed. There was nobody in sight at all whatsoever. That is what God means when he says those days will be shortened. Because if he doesn't put a stop to it, everybody on this earth will die. Then, I have a video of a mermaid, a fisherman, the Nephilim. There's all this weird stuff that's coming out. There's, I actually got to talk about this in another video, but there's all this stuff that's coming out, and then they want to clone dinosaurs, the whole zombie thing. Then, there's the locusts, then there's natural disasters and super soldiers, all this stuff. And that's what God meant. And there's also, and recently, I want to talk about this in a TikTok, they've also discovered a T-Rex, in which I think I've pointed out before, the map that we see is not our real map, because if it is, where are they finding all these weird creatures, these objects, and these dinosaur eggs? In which case, I read an article, since I pay attention to archaeology, since I'm not paying attention to everything, I mainly just pay attention to what pops up on my phone. But they recently discovered a dinosaur, this is to go on a tangent for a minute, that has, it was a T-Rex that has no arms. And obviously, everybody knows what a T-Rex is, it has short arms and whatnot. And this dinosaur, this T-Rex, has no arms. In which case, you should always ask yourself, where did they find that? Where are they digging up and finding these eggs from? So, want to sit here and say that. But yeah, that, and that's just to go on the tangent. And I also want to sit here and talk about don't listen to any of these false prophets and all this other stuff that have these thousands of views and say that you have a chance if you've been medicated. As long as if you've gotten medicated, you can pray, and before it actually gets turned on and all this other stuff, you'll be saved. That is a complete lie from the depths of hell. Somebody commented some lady's name, and I actually looked her up, and she has like 30,000 of views, and the lady's a false prophet, bro. And let me sit here and explain this. If you ever see somebody, unless it's a popular trend of certain stuff, conspiracies or whatever the case is, that's a different thing. Anybody could go viral for that. But if you see these so-called prophets that have thousands of views, I've been on YouTube for a long time. these people who have thousands of views, almost 50,000 or whatever the case is, you should question who you're following, because the minute they say something wrong, unfollow them. And that lady said that, and I said, this lady literally is not a prophet at all whatsoever. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm explaining this because I have a TikTok on basically those things that are in these medicines. They call it the Hydra. In which case, for some of you I've been saying a lot of stuff about how in mythology a lot of this stuff is real. It actually is, because I actually met the Hydra in the spirit world when I used to do black magic and stuff. But that, and I still have trauma from that. The Hydra is a real being, not a real being, but a real actual entity that is actually real in the spirit world. And this is part of my testimony, but when I was doing black magic, I had two dragons fighting over my soul. It was the Hydra, and it was God. The other one was God. It was this white, majestic dragon that appeared out of nowhere within the blink of an eye, and there was this white light beaming on it, and the Hydra, it backed off when the white dragon claimed me. And that happened about 2 times, because the other time the Hydra, it sniffed me out. It sniffed me in the spirit world. But so the Hydra is a real thing. For some of you who've been curious about if that thing is actually even real, it is real. So, man, what else was it? I got off topic for a minute, but that thing is actually real. And this also goes into something that I've been wanting to mention. Forgot I wrote this. Hold on. Yeah, it's in here. But basically, these entities, these beings that are in these medicines, they're basically something I heard about a long time ago from this guy named Donald Marshall. Don't look that guy's name up. Just don't. And this dude said something about these beings or these creatures or these parasites called VRIL. They're called Vril. I don't even know if I triggered the algorithm or not. Don't really care. And basically, he said that there are these little parasitic worms that they put in people's eyelids or in their ear. And basically, once it breaks the barrier, like where your brain is at, they inhabit your brain and it takes you over. And since it's a parasite from hell, and it's not a normal parasite, basically it takes you over and you transform into a demon. That's true. That's one of the things the guy said. That's true. That's true, because I actually did. I always go back over my childhood when I'm thinking or whatever the case is, and that's actually seen in Animorphs. If you grew up in the 2000s, 90s, whatever, in Animorphs, that is a thing. There's the TV show. It talks about how they stick these worms, or they look like snails or whatever, and they put it in your ear or your eyelid, and you're a whole total different person. They look just like your family members, your friends, and all this other stuff, and they literally take you over, and you are no longer a person. And they want to put this stuff, ironically, and Sean from Change is Coming has seen this. I've actually seen this. They want to put it in the food, and they also want to put it in other things. So that's actually something you should actually look into on Animorphs. I used to read forums about people who said like their parents are not even theirs. Real topics. Not just that, and also in terms of Animorphs, there's actually an alien. I read a book on the Book of Aliens or something from like the government that has like a book of aliens that have visited the planet and stuff. And one of them is called Visser, Visser, Visser something. And all I have a picture of is the eye, and it looks exactly like the blue centaur with no mouth from Animorphs. But like the blue centaur that gave like the main characters their powers and stuff, there's like he has a brother. Well, they're from the same planet and stuff, and they look completely different. And I got to do a TikTok on that to explain what I'm talking about. But you can actually just look this up, and that's a real thing. That is a real thing. So what that guy said is actually real. And to even put that even further into celebrities that aren't human, this is actually something that's actually seen in like TV shows and stuff, but I guess they barely show it. ASAP Rocky has, it's not a person. He wore a T-shirt that said VRIL, and very opening. So I just wanted to sit on here and come on and talk about that. And literally, as far as people, it's when you hear somebody that says, "Oh well, once you get this, you're fine." No, you're done. Unless it's been forced on you or whatever the case is, you feel the effects of it. But once you willingly line up and get this stuff, whether you're blissfully ignorant or not, you go to hell. And so God also told me that if you know exactly what's going on, and you decide to have intimacy and sex with a person that's been medicated, and you don't care and you think you're not going to be affected, you're choosing the choice of taking it. Now it'd be different, in which case on one of my followers on my Instagram page, she's one of my fans. She bought some of my books. She's her husband got medicated, and once I told her like what was in this stuff, she told me that her husband had to get it because he wanted to take care of his family. And obviously she obviously would never take it. But since you sleep with that person, you're married to that person, you have children with that person, she'll feel the effects of it, which is real sad and unfortunate. And she was real scared for her husband. But so this is real. And also in the new James Bond movie, they also talked about how nanotechnology was the topic, which I follow a lot of people in the nerd community, and they said it was very odd that they did that. And they said that once you start sweating, this is why I talk about you have to treat these people how you would treat somebody with AIDS and HIV. Once you start sweating, for a person that starts sweating that has AIDS and HIV, they're a danger, they're a threat. You can actually, through saliva, liquid, sperm, or whatever the case is, it can transfer over. And so literally they said in the movie that once you start sweating with the nanotechnology, that you can get infected with the nanotechnology. So I just wanted to sit on here, come on and say this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I also had a shift change dream, in which I was just complaining and stuff, like this week or last week. And then Daughter of Yahweh made a video, Shauna made a video, and all this other stuff. It's personal, but so yeah. But other than that, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm off all next week, thank God. So I have stuff I want to put out, but also, so other than that, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Then another thing I want to talk about is just to put this out there. I talk about how I write books and stuff. One of my books is called Blood in the Sea, and Blood in the Sea, SEA. I wrote that book as a warning or whatever, and whatnot. It's poetry stuff, and it's titled Blood in the Sea, and I wrote it last year. And ironically, I'm actually laughing because it's sort of funny to me, because when I actually wrote that book, I didn't pray to God for guidance. I just wrote it, and which is what I write a lot of stuff, and then stuff just happens. And officially, where the Dead Sea is at, somewhere next to the Dead Sea, the water's red. The sea is the sea is literally red and filled with blood, which is right next to where Sodom and Gomorrah is. So I just wanted to sit on here and say that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I gotta be at work in an hour actually. So hope you guys have a blessed day. And yeah.